You didn't let me finish.
I've heard it before.
What am I going to say?
The university feels that they've satisfied any obligation to me.
They do.
I've heard that before, Paul.
Okay.
It's a lie. Okay, this is Dan Sharphorn's lie. It's also Judy Nowak's lie. Now, repeatedly you've asked me to give you an allegation.
Okay.
I'm prepared to give you an allegation today.
Okay.
Okay? What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to review it.
And then what?
Then I'm going to see if it fits into something that requires any further action.
And
by contacting various sources.
How's that going to work?
How is that going to work?
Yeah. Who are you going to contact?
I could contact the Office of Research Integrity.
You're going to contact the ORI?
Sure.
You're going to trust them? Why should you trust them?
Why would I not trust them?
Because they're corrupt, okay? They're a corrupt government agency. If they were doing their job, Paul, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
Okay? I've been there. I've been in their offices.
Aren't they the people that make sure we're in compliance?
No, they're the people who are supposed to make sure you're in compliance. And you're not in compliance. And the reason you're getting away with it is because they're corrupt. Do you get it? They're supposed to be forcing you guys to comply. The reason this nonsense has been going on and occupying about 6 years of my life, or whatever it is now, is because those bozos in Rockville, Maryland ain't doing their job. Okay? And they refuse to do their job. Okay? That's why. And everybody knows it. Okay? Anybody who has a clue about this stuff, okay, like I do, you know, has realized that. Okay? I found that out about 4 years ago. Okay? And trust me, I've been in their offices. Okay? They don't want to deal with me because, they know that they're guilty.
Who have you talked to at ORI?
Most of them.
You spoke with their General Counsel, right?
She's avoided me. Okay, I've talked to some other... They've got a couple other attorneys there I've talked to. I've been in their offices. I didn't bring the information with me, but I've talked to a lot of people there. Okay, I had multiple meetings with them in the summer of 1999. Okay, I also went to the National Science Foundation, okay, in Arlington, Virginia, and they're yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Well,
I don't give a crap what they say. I'm going to sue them too, probably. Okay.
Well, if these are old allegations,
they're not old allegations, Paul.
I'm not saying they haven't been resolved. I'm saying they're ones.
They're not old allegations.
This is since you've talked to them. Then.
Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's deal with this old allegation nonsense right now. Okay. Can you give me a list of old allegations?
I don't know, John.
You don't know which allegations are old.
Well, there's several. You haven't given me any.
Yeah.
New ones,
Which ones are old? What has the university done? You're representing the university, fine. What is the university claiming specifically? What have they specifically investigated? What allegations? What allegations have I made in the past that have been responded to?
Did you file a academic misconduct?
Filed hundreds of them.
Okay.
Or whatever, a ton of them. Yeah, I filed lots of them.
And they have not been responded to?
What does that respond? Some of them, some of them have been responded to, some of them haven't been responded to.
Okay.
Do you understand how it's supposed to work? Let's just get back to the policy.
I understand the basics.
Yeah, I don't think you understand it. Have you read the policy yet?
I've reviewed portions of it.
Now, you asked me to send that to you in the mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly my job, is it?
You didn't send it to me.
Yeah, I did. I sent you a copy of it. Yeah, you did. I got you on tape opening the letter. Okay, you open it up. Remember that? You open it up. I gave you a copy of the policy. I also gave you an ORI document. Remember now?
Yes, I remember this now.
Here's how it's supposed to work. If I come to you, you're a university employee, you hear me talk about fraud against the U.S. government, which I repeatedly talk about. It's happening constantly on campus. What are you supposed to do?
Well, I'm supposed to ask you about specifics, John.
And if I say that, I've got information and allegations against the university, no, it's not how it works. Okay, what's supposed to happen, okay, is you're supposed to contact somebody who's supposed to contact the vice president for research. Okay, somehow there has to be a chain of command or something that goes to Fawaz Eagleby in this case. That's what the policy says. Does that sound familiar?
Well, fraud, criminal fraud that you're talking about, that's our jurisdiction to investigate any complaint.
Not if it, there might be a joint jurisdictional issue here.
Wow.
Okay, to the extent that the criminal fraud involves federal funds and science. Okay, most of the money around here, okay, you know what Ann Arbor's about? Ann Arbor ain't about football. Okay, and it ain't about hockey. Okay, that's not what runs this town. The money that runs Ann Arbor, it comes from D.C. Okay, it's here to do research. Okay, that's what people are supposed to be paying attention to. And you're basically telling me that you don't understand the policy.
That's not what I said, John.
Well, that's what you're. I'm doing the math here. Okay. Have you been appointed by? Has somebody told you? Who told you? Did Dan Sharphorn tell you that you were supposed to conduct an inquiry?
I'm supposed to be your sole contact, John. And I will help you with any matter that you
Fine. We need to. I got two issues. One is I want to conduct an investigation. Okay, into Dan Sharphorn and Judy Nowak in particular. Okay, they're shredding documents. They're destroying evidence. Okay, they're guilty as sin. You know, we're talking like an Enron sort of situation. You've got an Enron, okay, in the Fleming building. That's what we got here, Paul. It's an Enron sort of deal. And it's not just the University of Michigan. Okay, the ORI, let me put it to this way. The ORI, they've never ever busted a university. Okay, this is a new law. This is like 1991 or something this came out. In the 10 years, 11 years since there's been an ORI. Okay, of the 3,500 or so research universities under their jurisdiction, they have never busted anybody. Okay, that's like saying nobody smokes pot in Ann Arbor. Okay, it's ridiculous. You know, anybody who would look at this with half a brain look at it and just think it's ridiculous. You know, do people speed in Michigan? Is the speed limit really 70 or is it 80? You know, it's ridiculous. You're going to help me? Great. You know, what are you going to do? What are you going to help me do? Anything?
Well, I need you to explain to me what you think the violation is first.
It's huge.
And how you come about this.
It's huge.
I mean, don't just make an allegation. If you've got something you need me to check, if you've got some evidence to review.
There is all kinds. I got boxes of evidence. And it's not just me. Okay, I've got witnesses too who are ready to come forward. Okay? You know? Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And what's supposed to happen is the vice president for research is supposed to appoint either an individual or a committee to conduct an inquiry. That person has to pass a conflict of interest test. So that's the place to start. Now, either you told me before that you were that person.
I am the person that you're supposed to start with.
Are you conducting an inquiry?
If you give me something to talk about, John, I can't just go and say somebody's accusing you of all these falsehoods, but I don't know what they are.
Have you been authorized by the University of Michigan to conduct an inquiry into my allegations?
John, the University of Michigan has appointed me as the sole person for you to talk to. That's my job.
Paul, under the University of Michigan's policy, you told me this before. Are you jacking me around? Or you don't understand
you want to infer that, John.
No, I know. I want this black and white, man. You know, I can't. I'm not playing.
John, I'm
not playing semantic games. This is serious crap.
John,
now, either you're doing it or you're not.
John, if you want to file a complaint, if you have a legitimate issue,
I've got hundreds of them.
I will be glad to forward that.
To who?
Well, it depends what you tell me, John. It depends what kind of crime we're talking about.
It might not be a crime. It might be civil.
Well, then we'll send it to the right person. But you have to tell me what it is first before I can tell you what
No, I
this
don't.
guy is.
That's not the way it works. So I'm going to cooperate, okay, with what you're asking me, but that's not the way it works. Okay, and again, what you're telling me is you don't understand university policy.
It's not what I said, John. I'm telling you, before I can contact anybody, I got to know what the issue is.
Research misconduct, academic misconduct, fraud in science.
Well, John, if you're talking about fraud against the, the False Claims Act, that the university is taking funds, okay, and not following its contract, then I think we're talking about something else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're talking about criminal fraud.
There's overlap. False Claims Act,
That's
both
right.
civil and criminal.
That's exactly it. Why I would need to look at it first to find out what the violation is, what the alleged violation is, and to see where
Let's
it goes.
deal with the civil stuff first.
It may be of such a situation that it is appropriate for me to step out of it and to have another agency investigate. Okay? You said you've talked to the FBI before. You said you talked to the
No, I haven't
FBI.
talked to the FBI. I've talked to the Department of Justice. I said I'm going to talk to the FBI. I mean, I've talked to the FBI, okay, but not in person. I've called them repeatedly, and I'm going to go down there like on Monday, okay, and really talk to them, okay, and not just mess around with them, okay. I don't know what you're telling me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, from my understanding,
you got to tell me what the complaint is before I can tell you what I'm going to do with it, John. Okay? If you're going to sit here,
but you're telling me that you're the exclusive person to represent me at the university, okay?
For you to contact,
yeah, okay. And I'm telling you that I want an inquiry, okay? I want an inquiry to be initiated immediately, okay? And Fawaz is supposed to do it.
If it's appropriate, it'll be followed. But
No. There's no judgment. No, there's no judgment. You don't get to say if we feel like it, we'll do it. It doesn't matter. They have to appoint an inquiry. If the inquiry decides whether it's appropriate or not, okay. After there's an inquiry, okay, the inquiry does all that stuff. Inquiry does evidence gathering. Inquiry does, is this nonsense or hogwash? That's all part of the inquiry.
Who did you deal with before I got involved with on your claims?
In terms of what?
Well, you said you filed this before.
I dealt with the vice president for research, Homer Neal.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a meeting of Homer Neal. I have letters from Homer Neal. I also dealt with Frederick Neidhart. Okay, and these people, are a little bit different than dealing with a Sargent Detective in the DPS. Okay, that's a little bit more appropriate, for them to be dealing with this than you. Okay, they dump this on you because they don't want to deal with it. Okay, and it's illegal. They don't get it to say, well, we don't want to deal with this crap anymore. Let's give it to Sergeant Vaughan. That's not the way it works.
So this is the complaint. You got a response from them from before?
Sure. Yeah, I got a response one time or a couple times. Then I started getting letters from Sharphorn. All that was totally illegal. One time.
What was your response from them? Not Mr. Sharphorn, but.
One time, the very first time I filed a complaint was in 1994.
Okay. What was that?
I made allegations against 3 people.
Okay.
The 3 people were H. David Humes, MD. He's the chairman of the Department of Internal Medicine.
Okay.
The second person was Judy Nowak. The third person was David Martin.
Okay. And who did you make that claim to? Allegation to?
Homer Neal.
Okay. Did you get a response?
Yes.
What was the response?
Well, this is complicated. Okay, I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay. Homer Neal, they separated the allegations.
Okay.
They separated Humes from Nowak and Martin.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the allegation against Humes?
It was pretty broad, okay, but it basically involved falsification, fabrication, and plagiarism of data in federal contracts by him, not only at the university but also with his startup company, Nephros Therapeutics Inc. And it had to do with this artificial kidney stuff that I was working on with him.